Hey everyone! Have you ever wondered what comes in a standard suture kit? Something like this that you would have in your typical urgent care or emergency room? Well, in today's video, we're going to walk through the different items in two different types of disposable suture kits and see what's all inside of it. So stay tuned. So as an emergency medicine PA, I've done hundreds and hundreds of sutures and laceration repairs. And every single ER that I've worked at all over Texas, they all stock different types of suture kits. But in most of them, they have just about the same things. And so I wanted to take the time to do a video for y'all to show you what comes standard in most of these kits. So we'll start with the larger kit here, and then we'll work our way to this smaller minor laceration tray, and I'll go item by item and show you what's all inside of there and what we use it for. Alright, so let's start with this laceration tray. So this laceration tray comes in a plastic baggie, and so this in here is technically really not sterile, but we can kind of open it up. Here on the list, it has exactly all the different things that are in there. But rather than read that to you, I'm going to go ahead and just open it up and show you. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side over here. And I'm going to open this up. So anytime you open up a laceration tray, there should be a free end here. It's to keep what's inside sterile. A laceration repair is a sterile procedure, and so we want to respect the contents of what is inside of here and keep it sterile. So I'll use the little tip and I'll open it up. I'm going to show you kind of how I would open it up in a sterile fashion. You really don't want to reach too much over your sterile field. Okay, and then there's another little tip here. Generally speaking, the outer kind of edge of this is considered not sterile anyway, and so we can kind of keep that open. Anything that I touch from now on the inside here, I should touch with sterile gloves. Now, that is a video for another day on how to keep things sterile and prepare a sterile field. This video is not for that. This video is to show us what all comes inside of here. So I'm going to go ahead and disrespect the sterility of this field, and I'm going to go ahead and reach inside of here and look and see what's in here. So right on the top we have some drapes. Okay, these drapes are going to help keep our field sterile before we start doing any suturing. So this one's probably just a standard drape. It doesn't have any holes, it doesn't have a fenestration, so it's a standard drape. This is what I would place kind of under the limb if I'm doing like an arm laceration, or on the chest if I'm doing a head laceration, so that I have more sterile field space to work with. The second one is another drape. So in this kit we have two sterile drapes. Okay, so those two I would place to kind of keep my field clean. Now this one is probably a fenestrated drape, which has a hole in it, and that's the one I'm going to place over my laceration. So if I open that up, you'll see that there is in fact a hole. And so this hole is what I would place over my laceration, so that all that's showing and all that I can see is the cut itself. Now, if for some reason you're repairing a laceration that's bigger than the hole, you can always, in sterile fashion, use your scissors to make the hole a little bit bigger. So there we go, we have our fenestrated drape. Then on the inside we have two little cups. So these cups are for filling with maybe iodine or betadine and some, maybe some saline solution to wash out the wound. This kit actually also comes with needles, so that's very convenient. It comes with 3 sizes of needles. Another trick that I've done before is, instead of using the cups, you actually pour the betadine or the saline solution in here, and so you have more to kind of wash out the wound. So we have 3 different sizes of needles. I don't want to tell you incorrectly, so let's take a look over here. We have an 18 gauge needle, which is usually pink. It's very thick, 18 gauge needle. We have a 25-inch needle, which I believe is this one, 25-inch, 25 gauge needle, excuse me, and we have a 27 gauge needle. So we have 3 different varieties here that we can use for different things. Okay, so those are the 3 needles in this kit. Then we have a little 2x2 gauze, or a let's see, yeah, 2x2 gauze. We have a few of those. We have some 4x4s, which we can use to kind of clean and cleanse the wound. We have 2 separate packs of 4x4s. And then we have our tools. Now these tools are disposable, meaning I'm going to use them for one patient and then they're going to go in the sharps. And so let's go one by one and look at these different tools. First, I have my needle driver. So this needle driver, they tend to be not quite as good as the ones that you have like in your surgical kits or in your sim suture kits that I've showed before. Sometimes they're a little harder to use since they're disposable, but they also are a little bit smaller. So you can see that they're pretty small. And they're disposable. So this is the needle driver, needle holder. Then we also have a set of forceps. It's usually rat tooth since we're using it to pick up skin. So you'll see the little teeth on here. It's rat tooth forceps. Next up we have scissors. So these are your standard scissors. They have a protector on the top and they're used for cutting suture. And last but not least, we have some curved hemostats. You might need these if you're doing an abscess drainage or to hold things in the wounds and things like that. I don't use these very often for general suturing. And so that is it. That is all of the contents of this suture kit. It definitely has everything we need. The only other things we'll need are our saline solution, our iodine solution, and then the anesthetic. So if I already have my needles in here, I might use my 18 gauge to draw it up. I'll have my nurse or my assistant hold that so that I can withdraw the medication. And then the only other thing that's not in here are the sterile gloves, but you can put those on before you handle anything in here. All right, now let's look at this minor laceration tray. So right off the bat, you can tell that this is going to have less in it because it's smaller, but it still should have the essential equipment that we need to be able to repair a laceration. Again, it's listed here, all of what comes inside of this kit. So again, when I open this up, I need to make sure to maintain sterility. Everything in here is sterile. So this is a sterile field. I'm going to pick this up from here with my sterile gloves. I would open this up, and this is the drape that I would put for my sterile field. So again, there it goes. All right, I'm going to put that aside. So there's our sterile drape. Second up on here, we have probably another drape, another sterile drape. So I guess it's pretty standard to have two of these. This one actually has a fenestration in it. So let's see. That one's the one we would put over the top of the wound. Has the hole in it. All right, and then we have some 4x4s, and we have some more sterile field. So other things that we can set out to create a larger sterile field. So just more drapes. So we have in this kit, we have one large sterile drape, we have our fenestrated drape, and then two smaller sterile drapes. We have our pack of 4x4s. This one doesn't have any smaller 2x2s. This one also doesn't have the cups. It doesn't have the needles, and it doesn't have the syringe. But you can get those supplies outside of this kit if you needed them. Last but not least, what we have in here are some scissors. So they're small scissors that can cut suture. We have some forceps, which are, again, rat tooth forceps for suturing. And last but not least, we have our needle driver. It's the same kind of size and type of needle drivers in this kit. So this kit has what we need. It has our tools to perform the procedure. It has all of our sterile draping. What we would need to add to this kit would be some iodine solution, probably some more 4x4s. I'd probably dump another pack of 4x4s in my sterile field. We'll need our anesthetic, our syringe, and our needles. All of that is not provided in this kit. And then some extra saline or syringe to kind of irrigate the wound before we get started. But overall, that's what we have in this second minor laceration tray. All right, well, I hope this video was helpful for those of you that were curious about what comes standard in these suture kits. If you're curious about any type of other item that is frequently stocked in an emergency room or in a clinic, please comment in the comments below and let me know so that I can do a video on them in the future. And in looking forward, I am going to release a video pretty soon on what is in a laceration cart or a suture cart and what comes all in that. So be sure to look out for that video. It's coming out soon. And as always, thank you so much for watching our videos. We hope they're helpful, and we'll catch you in the next one.